Hello friends and welcome back to the channel. I'm the GM Philosopher and today we're doing something a little bit different. I'm going to go through the top 10 holiday gifts that you can get for the D&D enthusiast in your life or for yourself that will make the absolute best holiday gifts. If you're looking for the best, most essential gifts to get your D&D friends, well guess what? I'm here to help you out. I have went through all of my past gifts, things people have bought me, stuff I've bought myself. And I have figured out my 10 favorite things. These are essentials. Any one of these things are going to make playing D&D more fun and better. And trust me, any GM or even any player in your life is going to love getting any of these gifts. So without further delay, let's dive right into it. On one additional note, you can find links in the description to everything I'm about to talk about. Every single product I'm about to show you, you can find a link down in the description. They'll take you directly to that product. And hey, little tip, as an Amazon affiliate, I earn commissions from purchases made on most of the products you're going to see down in the description. If you make a purchase through the link in the description of this video, my channel will earn a very small commission, which I thank you for, and it comes at no additional cost to you, so it's also an awesome way to support the channel. Coming in at number 1 on the list, the D&D Starter Kit. Now, this one is a little bit outdated, I will say. It doesn't quite look like this anymore. This was the version that I got when this starter kit was the one to get, so that's why I'm showing you this one. But the newer one actually has a lot of really cool stuff in it. And basically what the starter kit is it's everything you need to start playing D&D right out of the box at a very affordable price point. If you follow my link down in the description, you'll find the latest D&D starter set, Dragons of Stormwreck Isle, plus a D&D Essentials kit. They basically come together and you get a whole bunch of stuff with this. You get a bundle of 2 different items, both of the kits. You get a 32-page rule book. You get 5 ready-to-play character sheets. You get 6 dice. It's literally a whole adventure for levels 1 to 3. It's the Dragons of Stormwreck Isle starter adventure. You get a 64-page rule book that comes with the Essentials kit. The Essentials kit also comes with 11 dice. You get 1 poster map. You get cards for magic items and a whole lot more. So basically you get the starter kit, you get the essentials kit. They both come with a rule book. They both come with a whole bunch of accessories, everything you need to get started. The reason this is an awesome gift is because if the person you're buying for has not yet gotten into D&D and then maybe they want to get into D&D, or maybe even more importantly, they want to get into being a GM, a game master, this is a fantastic gift idea that is actually really affordable. It's even cheaper than buying the player's handbook, the whole thing. And it'll get whoever you're buying for into D&D, give them everything they need to basically run from levels 1 to 3, get their toes wet, get them on the road to becoming a D&D aficionado. So link for that is in the description. So starter set is a must for new D&D players. Coming in at item number 2 on my list, the core books. Okay, now I have the 2024 Dungeons & Dragons Player's Handbook, okay? This is the most important book that you could get for the D&D lover in your life. If they do not have the 2024 Core Player's Handbook, this is an excellent gift. Maybe one of the best things you could possibly get them. This is good for players and GMs. And if your player or GM is still running the 2014 Player's Handbook, then this is an awesome upgrade because this is the updated version. Not that there's anything wrong with this one. It's just that this is slightly older. And while you can still use it, especially if the rest of your group is playing with the 2014 rules, the 2024 book is the up-to-date one and it's worth the upgrade. Now, that being said, the second most important core book, in my opinion, is the Monster Manual. Now, I'm still rocking the 2014 Monster Manual here. The new Monster Manual, as of today, has not yet dropped yet, but you can pre-order it. There's a link in the description. I think a Monster Manual is the second most important book to get the D&D aficionado in your life, especially if they want to be a DMG or if they want to be a DM, because monsters, all kinds of monsters until the end of time. And then the third most important core book is the Dungeon Master's Guide. Why do I say that the DMG, the Dungeon Master's Guide, comes in third? Personally, I think you can be a capable, awesome GM running with the Player's Handbook, and then the Monster Manual gives you a bunch of monsters. The DMG has awesome stuff. I don't think it's the first book you should buy. I think it's the third book you should buy. With that being said, if your player already has the monster manual, already has the player's handbook, or your friend, person who wants to get into running games, but they don't yet have the DMG, grab that for them. Now, this is the 2014 version. Once again, I have not yet upgraded. I haven't gotten my new version. I'm going to actually. Maybe someone will get that for me for the holidays. With that being said, the link to the new 2024 version, which has been released, is down in the description. So, boom, core books, must buy. Not necessarily have to have them to be a GM or to run games, but they make it so much better. So I think it's such a good gift for D&D lovers. And this brings us to item number 3 on our list, dice. Playing D&D is so much fun, but you can't really do it without dice. Yes, you can roll digital dice on your phone. There are lots of ways you can get this to work, but come on. We want to roll physical dice, man. If you're playing on a digital table space, I understand you may not need physical dice, but you're still going to want physical dice. Everyone wants physical dice. Now, I have 2 different dice options for you, and I'm going to show them to you. One of them is basically a large 140-piece set of QMA D&D dice. The link to this is down in the description. You get this awesome dice bag. Now, I bought this. Actually, I think I was given it as a gift a long time ago, and there's 140 dice in here. They're very colorful, lots of different colors of sets, and it has an awesome, mine's a little fuzzy, but it has an eagle with a D20, carrying a D20. It's a super cool bag, very sturdy. You can carry all your dice in it. This is one of like probably 8 different dice bags I have, but it's one of my favorites. Super awesome. And it comes with literally 20 colors of D&D dice for D&D tabletop role-playing in the drawstring bag. Now, let me show you what some of these dice look like. All right, I've managed to set these down in a way where you can kind of see them up close. As you see, they're very nice, very pretty, very colorful. This is just a couple I was able to dig out of my bag. I have so many dice, like hundreds of dice, but I grabbed these out, dug these out. These were some of the dice that came with this set. Now, keep in mind that the aesthetics might have changed a little bit because my set was like gifted to me years ago, but this is basically what they look like, and they look awesome. And speaking as an experienced GM, every GM just needs a bag of dice. This isn't even my only bag. I have many bags of dice. I have quite a few, and they come and go when you play. So every GM needs a big old bag of dice. So that's a fantastic gift. Link is in the description. One of my top gift ideas by far, a bag of dice for your GM buddy or for your D&D buddy. Can never have too many dice. Now, speaking of dice, I think every GM also needs an official set of GM dice, and I'm going to show you mine right now. Basically, they're black and red menacing dice is what I call them. Here, give me just a second. I'm going to put them up on the screen. So these are beautiful, and I've had these for years, but they're basically sort of like black and red elven type dice, like dark elf type dice, I think is what they were. With that being said, I love black and red menacing looking dice for GMs because let's face it, GMs thrive on the tears of their players. And when the big bads are rolling menacing black and red dice, this is what makes it feel awesome. When the GM pulls out their scary looking dice, players go, oh my gosh, we're in for trouble, right? With that being said, I could not find my exact set of dice online. I think they were purchased for me. I think they were a gift from my kids, actually. But alas, this was too long ago. Probably 10 years ago I got those dice. So that being said, I did find 2 sets that are comparably menacing and black and red that you can find links to down in the description. I cannot show them on the screen for copyright purposes because showing images, and I don't have these. These are just the closest I found. But there's a pretty affordable D&D dice set that comes with a leather bag that has red and black inscriptions very similar to the dice I just showed you. The link in the description basically labels those as similar set with a leather dice bag. But then there's also a Hextech bloodstained metal D&D dice set that is maybe even more menacing. It's a little more expensive, but it looks like literally like cast iron metal dice that have what look like blood stains on them. So click in the description to take a close look at them. Honestly, if I were going to revamp my menacing dice, those are the ones I would buy. I kind of like the metal dice. I think it's cool. But anyway, boom. Some menacing black and red dice for the GM is my next gift idea tip. So you can never go wrong with that. Coming in at number 5 on my list, an adventure module. If you have a GM D&D friend who loves to run games and they already have the core books and the dice, you might be thinking, well, what can I get next? Well, how about an adventure module? I actually just released my biggest and best adventure module yet. It's called The Haunting at Ashburrow. It's a 5-session plot arc adventure module designed for any fantasy TTRPG system. I wrote this. I designed this, the whole thing. This is a GM Philosopher product. Link is in the description. And let me just show you some of this. This comes in a hardcover, a soft cover, and a very affordable ebook option. So whatever format works best for you, that's awesome. But basically, this is the hardcover. A look at the hardcover. This book takes you through a pretty menacing, haunting, like a demon haunting adventure. Discover clues, solve mysteries and puzzles. There's world state information for character creation. There's a pretty awesome world map so you know exactly where you're at. And all kinds of other information. There's a map of the local village where the mystery is taking place. A whole campaign synopsis and backstory so the GM can read it and be fully prepared. Campaign setup for the players, everything you need to give the players to prepare them for the campaign with backstory and whatnot. And then each session is broken up into handy modules that have their own goals. There's descriptions, NPC images, NPC notes, everything you need to run the module. I really love this adventure module because even though it has all of the elements you need to run the mystery and the NPCs, and it has information about the village and everything, you can still take it in your own direction and make it your own, because the way I designed it was every single session, every scene, every chapter has a very, very simple series of goals. And as long as you achieve those goals, which might be that the players find a clue or they engage in a certain type of combat or whatever, as long as you stick to those goals, the mystery will still work. So it can be very open-ended, does not have to be railroady. If you have a GM in your life who loves to run awesome adventures, they love to take adventures and make them their own, and they love to launch from cool ideas to make them even better, well, guess what? This is an awesome idea to gift an adventure module to your favorite GM, or to yourself if you're a GM. Anyway, Haunting at Ashburrow, solid adventure option, and to be honest, my favorite adventure I've ever written. Definitely must get. All right, coming in at number 6, awesome gift ideas for GMs, an erasable hex grid board. I use these so much, and I have 2 different options. Now, my favorite one is actually by Forged, the 39 by 22 dual-sided game board, campaign edition board only. I looked for this on Amazon. It's on there, but it is unavailable. And unfortunately, all of Forged game boards are currently unavailable. I don't think they make them anymore, which is very sad to me. Now, with that being said, I did find one that is almost the same. And basically what this is, it's a big game board with a glossy surface. It's squares on one side. You flip it over and it's hexes on the other. Let me just pull it out and show you real quick. I have used this thing so much. It's still got notes on it from last session, but it's really big. It is so beat up. I've had to tape this thing back together. I've been using this thing for like 8 years. It is amazing. Can't even fold it up right. But I found one that's very comparable on Amazon that's almost exactly like this. And you can get an even bigger size. It's called Hexer's Extra Large Role-Playing Game Board. It's a vinyl mat alternative compatible with D&D, but it's almost the exact same thing as this. Comes in a very simple box. And it's a board that you can flip over. It's squares on one side, hexes on the other. Use your dry erase markers or wet erase markers. You're going to have to wipe it off when you're done, but you can just, boom, throw it down, draw whatever you need to on it. I think this is essential for playing D&D, to be really honest. But I also have another option that I've used almost equally as much. It's called a Chessex Mega Mat. And basically, so look, we even still have stuff on here, but it's a rollable vinyl mat. It has squares on one side and it has hexes on the other. This one's even been cut because we put it in like a frame at one point. But This is amazing. You draw on it with wet erase markers. You just spray it with a little cleaner and erase it when you're done. Works awesome. Throw this down on the table and you can draw the maps if you need to. Link to this is also down in the description. This is a vinyl RPG Mega Mat, smooth and tough, and it is tough. This thing is indestructible. 34.5 inches by 48 inches is what the Mega Mat is. This looks smaller because it's been cut, but actually, if you buy the full-size version, it's really big. It's like really big. Works awesome, useful for nearly all role-playing game and miniature games available on the market today. And that's true. It's just, it's a hex grid. What can I say? But if your GM friend or your D&D playing friend does not have a hex grid, or my friend, if you do not have an erasable marker hex grid, this is a must get, because every GM needs a couple of these, at least one of them in the toolkit. And either one of the ones I've shared with you here are awesome because I've used them both literally hundreds of times, and boom, really, really awesome. So solid gift idea there. All right, coming in at number 7 on our GM D&D gift list is a GM screen. Now, I have a couple of these. I have the one that came out with the 2014 version, and I have one that I think was a 4th edition. I'll show you that one first. Basically what these are, it's a GM screen you set in front of you so the players can't see your dice rolls. And then they have cheat sheet notes on the inside for like common things GMs need to look up. I think that was a 4E version, and then I have the official D&D 2014 version. Well, pretty awesome artwork, and then all kinds of awesome notes on the inside. They tell you stuff like NPC ideals. They give you random roll tables for that. NPC bonds, characteristics, flaws, blinded, charmed, deafened conditions. Like they give you that stuff. Invisible, paralyzed. They give you cover notes, light sources, obscured areas, skills and associated abilities, travel pace information. Something happens, you can roll a d20 on the something happens table. So there's just a bunch of like helpful GM table tips. I love playing with the GM screen. I think it's awesome. I can put my notes back there because I keep a lot of notes, and then players can't accidentally see notes and give away stuff. Ruin the surprise. With that being said, I would recommend that you buy the new 2024 GM Screen Edition, which is available. Link is down in the description. I have not personally upgraded to it yet, but it's basically the same thing as this one, but it's for the 2024 version, and it has new awesome artwork that kind of corresponds with the 2024 Player's Handbook. So super, super awesome. I would recommend that one for the GM in your life. Who doesn't have a GM screen? Every GM needs a GM screen. Come on, what's going on here? Solid gift idea. All right, coming in at number 8, Spellbook Cards, official D&D Spellbook Cards. Now, I have a set of these for the Arcane. So basically, this set is for like wizards and sorcerers, but there are sets of these for every D&D spellcasting class. So there's a set for druids, there's a set for bards, there's a set for clerics, rangers, paladins. There's the Arcane version, and there's even a martial powers and races spell card list. But let me show you what these are basically. So these are basically spells, but they're in a handy card, okay? So this is what they look like on the back. So they look really, really cool. Basically, they have the level of the spell on the back. And then they have all of the spell information on the front. Trying to get my camera to focus well. So we have Liamon's Secret Chest. You can see it's got the range, casting time, components, duration, and then a description of the spell. So everything you need to cast the spell, basically. I have to do some tricks to get my camera to autofocus. But anyway, so these are really cool because, as you know, managing spells can be kind of difficult. So you can just like, whatever spells you're going to prepare, you can pick them out and you can have them by your character sheet. And then you have all your spells, and then there's no need to like look them up in the book every time you're going to cast them. No need to print out a bunch of stuff. So spell cards, super underrated gift, underrated accessory. I wish I had all of the sets. A lot of my like D&D friends, my friends who are serious about D&D, they all buy the sets that correspond with the classes they're going to be playing. And I think I have one friend who has like all the sets. So you can like even put them in a binder. A lot of my friends will put them in binders. I have not specifically done that. I just have the Arcane set and I use them like in a GM manner and I set them aside when I need them. So yeah, link is in the description to all the different types. There's the Druid, Bard, Cleric, Ranger, Paladin, Arcane, and Martial powers and races list. Spellbook cards. Super awesome, even for players, because if a player's playing a Druid, guess what? You buy the Druid card set, you're going to be able to use that the whole campaign. You're going to be able to use that from levels 1 to 20. And then if that person ever runs a campaign, they can even use it for NPCs, use it for enemies, bad guys, or they can even loan them out to players to make it a little easier. And if they ever play a Druid again, boom, they can just whip it out, play with the Druid, have their spellbook cards right there. Makes it super fun and simple. And if you're like me and you prefer analog to digital, I prefer having the cards much more than like looking things up on my phone. I think it's kind of lame to be on your devices when you're playing D&D at a physical tabletop, to be honest. So cards, in my opinion, super, super awesome. Solid gift idea. This brings us to idea number 9, magic item cards. Now I have the official set of D&D magic item cards. This box is a little beat up because I use them so much all the time. And let me tell you what they have. Basically, they have all of the D&D magic items. For example, on the front you can see Robe of Eyes. And then on the back, see if I can get this to focus. You can see it's got all the information for the magic item. So basically, when a player gets the magic item, you can give them the card, and then not only can they track it with their inventory, like set it by the character sheet, but then they have all the information about the magic item on the back, so they can run it without having to like print stuff out, look it up in the DMG, etc. This is especially useful if you don't have a DMG or you only have one copy. Passing it around constantly could be kind of a big kind of like wasted time and effort. Plus, one thing I like to do, I like to pull out a whole stack and random roll on them for loot. So I've enjoyed these so much. I was given a set of these by a friend for I think Christmas either or birthday, maybe 2 years ago. And I literally have these at the GM station every single game. I love handing out magic items. The players, like basically what I do is I have, so they don't walk away from my table, I have envelopes for each player and I keep all their cards that they're using in the envelopes and I put them all in my GM box. So they have them every single session and it's awesome. I think that this is probably one of the best things. I mean, these come in at number 9 because they're not like quote unquote essential, but they're so fun and I love them so much. So magic item cards for D&D literally can't go wrong, and you can use them forever and they're really high quality and awesome. With that being said, there is another alternative to this that I've started using as well. I have written a book called The Ultimate Dungeon Loot Randomizer. Basically what this is it's a book of 10 D100 tables of dungeon loot. It can be loot for anything, but I call it dungeon loot because it's specifically like formatted and thematic for dungeons. But this has all kinds of different loot ideas in it. This comes in a hardcover version, a more affordable soft cover version, and it comes in a very affordable ebook version. But basically, you get all kinds of different loot in this. You can roll on mundane dungeon items, slightly magical dungeon items, mundane weapons and armor, magical weapons and armor, individual pieces of treasure, magic scrolls, magic potions and elixirs, cursed items, forgotten wonders and other worldly relics, and full chests of treasure and loot. You can generate full chests of loot. Let me just show you some pages from this. So basically, this has a whole bunch of loot that isn't necessarily going to be found in other D&D books because I created this. So it's a whole bunch of like loot that I've created that's really like different and interesting. And one thing you will notice is if you play a lot of D&D, like the magic items are awesome, but there comes a point when you've played with all the magic items. Like that might sound hard to believe, but there comes a point when your players have seen them all. So if you've got like a long-term game going, there's a bunch of magic items in this book that you could use as substitute loot. Link to this is down in the description. I wrote this. You can order this off my Blurb bookstore. But hey, for example, look at the magical weapons and armor section here. Now, it's system agnostic, so it doesn't have specific stats. It just describes the magical ability. So you can tweak it to make it work for your system, whatever system you're running. And it's awesome stuff that'll make your players really wonder, like, where in the heck did this come from? Plus, the book feels awesome. It's got 10 D100 tables, so you can random roll it if you want, or you can just pick it out. But yeah, solid pick. This, super awesome, highly recommended. This, also super awesome, highly recommended. And they both kind of do the same thing. Let you give out awesome stuff. This is all loot. Magic and non-magic. These are just magic items. When I say just, I don't mean just. I mean awesome magic items. But there's also a bunch of stuff your players have never seen in this book. So yeah, solid gift options there for the discerning gift giver, for the lucky GM or D&D aficionado in their life, or if you want to get something for yourself. And that leads us to number 10, our 10th gift item for the discerning gift-giving friend or loved one for the D&D lover in their life, and that is condition rings. Now, this is a set of CZYY D&D acrylic condition rings, and basically these are for use on a physical tabletop with miniatures, or if you're like me and you use dice for miniatures, sometimes it'll work. But basically, these have a bunch of different conditions on them. Prone, charmed, frightened, concentration, stunned, hex, invisible, restrained, etc. Right? Now let me give you kind of a quick up-close look at what some of these look like. So you can kind of see what they look like. They're just rings, and they have the conditions written on them. And the idea is, if a character gets stunned, or a character is concentrating, or if a character gets restrained, you could plop one of these rings onto the miniature on the board, and then you can see that they have the condition. So that's pretty awesome. Now, that being said, this is an older set, but the newer set looks amazing. If you click on the link down in the description, go to the Amazon listing. And I can't show you like a screenshot of it here because showing screenshots of the Amazon page is like violating terms of service. But the CZYY upgraded condition rings, they come with 96 pieces, status effect markers, and 24 conditions. And the box looks like literally a spell book. So you like open it. It has like this spell book look and feel to it. And then you open it and it's got all the rings inside and it just looks amazing. This is kind of an old school set, but the newer set is even more awesome. Makes me kind of want to reorder it, or hopefully someone gifts me the new set maybe. It's like, but anyway, condition markers, super fun, and makes it a lot easier to track like the different conditions. Plus, the markers for the new set are actually color coded. Like these are all clear and they have colored words on them. But the new versions all have like white words, but the ring is colored. So it makes it even easier to see and to track them. So super, super awesome. Love it. Use them in almost every session. Can't really go wrong with some great condition markers. Solid gift choice, if I do say so myself. With that being said, that is going to be a wrap. Thank you so much for watching my video about the best gift ideas for the D&D lover in your life this coming holiday season. All of this stuff is stuff that I use almost every time I play D&D. It's all stuff I love, and I try to organize this list in a manner that was basically best, most fundamental ideas to start with, and then we go on down the list. Necessities, list in order of necessity. I really tried to organize it well, so I hope that you picked up on that. And I really hope that this gave you some great ideas for gifts for the upcoming holiday season. With that being said, hey, at your holiday sessions this year, don't forget to roll some D100s for me. Thank you so much for coming back and watching another one of my videos. I'm here every single day creating videos about the best game in the world, D&D. So I will see you awesome people on the next one.